The power of no can change your life, and it is the single two letters in our English language that...
I asked Candy Shaw about the power of saying no, and what she told me changed my thought process on every single yes that I have ever given.
Teach us how to stop and how to start. My dad used to drive carpool with an iron in his hand.
No.
So he would drop us off at school practicing the Marcel Iron. We don't really have a labor shortage as much as we have a talent shortage. And working for a man who standard, and that is when it stops being fun.
Is when I'll stop.
Is when I'll stop. And I'll leave you with this. You
Please.
Always want to spend major time with major people and minor time with minor people. If you're chasing just the dollar, you're chasing the wrong thing.
The dollar comes when you chase what you're great at and what you enjoy.
What you enjoy and what you...
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast Conversations That Count. Today, I am joined by an amazing guest, Candy Shaw, a legend in her field, her industry, and I'd say an amazing person. But before I over-introduce you, Candy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, I am a salon owner of, been at the chair 45 years. I am a second generation hairdresser. My father was a champion, world champion hairdresser. And I own a 50-chair salon in Atlanta.
Amazing.
I have an academy where I teach French cutting and balayage. And by the grace of God, I started a product line 12 years ago called Sunlights. And so I really stay really busy just giving back to the industry. That's what I really love about what I do.
I love it. You give back. And not only was your father an award-winning salon stylist, but he was the first world champion, right? If I understand.
Well, he was the first American to ever win the world championship for the Marcel Iron, which is a curling iron to today's world. And he took the coveted award from the Europeans back in 1960 in Amsterdam. And back then they used to do these extravagant hair pieces that were so huge they had to be carried in coffin boxes, some of them.
What?
They were ginormous. Some of them were as much as 4 and 5 feet tall.
I can't imagine showing up to see hairstylists work and everyone's walking in with coffins.
Well,
I would think I'm in the wrong place. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, well, that's just sort of an expression, but they were pretty remarkable back then. And that talent has been carried on in different kinds of muses and different kinds of ways now, but it's not like it used to be back when they would just go do these shows every single weekend and just do these huge competitions. Now the competition we have is on social media, right?
Yeah,
it is on the show floor, of course, but but mostly it was a different generation back then.
I actually love that you say that. So that kind of kicks me off to where I'd like to start. With you, you're in a unique place because you've seen the industry of cosmetology grow from the birth. You came out as a baby, probably with a set of, scissors in your hand. But what do you feel like has been some of the biggest transformations you've seen from when you started and when your father was working to now?
Well, just to sort of add to who I am, I never went to college and I never went to beauty school.
No.
So
really?
In Georgia, you don't have to go to beauty school, so you can actually apprentice. So I apprenticed under my father, which was an incredible way to learn. Yeah. And back then, the disciplines and the things that we had to be taught and the ways that we had to do everything from great customer service to really honing in on our skill levels was just really, really different than what it is now. I mean, now, I was saying to you earlier, I always thought of my career as just that, a career. Like I could go anywhere I ever wanted to go. I could get anything I ever wanted. I could live wherever I wanted. I could drive the car I wanted. And now, hairdressing has really changed. It's morphed. Whether it's been COVID or whether it's just been social media in general.
Yeah.
I get a little frustrated by the fact that you know, our skill level has kind of dropped. Like I was saying to you earlier, we don't really have a labor shortage as much as we have a talent shortage. And working for a man who was so talented, was sort of a godfather in this industry, it's kind of hard to see people just dial it in and just sort of have drive-by skill.
I say rather than when you got to see, I mean, you came up seeing people who are so committed and dedicated to their craft, to now see where it's like, oh, this is a hobby, and I'm going to go do 3 other things that are all hobbies, and these are my jobs.
Yeah, my dad used to drive carpool with an iron in his hand.
No.
So he would drop us off at school practicing the Marcel Iron. I never knew my father not practicing, you know, not doing things, you know, about, you know, figuring out a new way. It was like we were all, back then they were just such incredible entrepreneurs in a different kind of way. Like they would always find the solutions to the problems. I mean, we didn't have the resources of Google and, you know,
where it's
YouTube
at your fingertips.
and,
It's like you got to figure it out.
That. I mean, my father one time was in the garage sawing off the ends of scissors because he was a barber in the military. And he was sawing scissors down to make them half the size because he had seen a hairdresser cut hair with a little tiny scissor. And he didn't have the resources to find them or get them, so he just tried to make his own. So it's, you know, those stories, those vast histories of the people of how they built companies and how they did the things that they do are really something we should never forget in our industry, the forefathers, the foremothers that really did great things. And, you know, to your point about a hobby, you know, not to really, you know, get, I don't know, sometimes I get a little down on it, I'm going to be honest, David, because, you know, I feel like we should really lift our industry and not be embarrassed by it. You know, being a hairdresser should be a first choice career. It is an incredible place. You're learning that, hanging out with all of us, right? You're learning that the beauty industry is there's some really brilliant people in it. We're not just starving artists.
And it's a multi-billion-dollar industry as well. I mean, and it's worldwide.
Absolutely,
So
and everybody needs a hairdresser, a barber, an esthetician, a nail artist. Y'all need us. I mean, don't tell us that we are not essential, okay?
You are. You're an essential worker. When COVID happened and I couldn't see my barber, I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, exactly. You were offering up a lot of money for that haircut.
I would have done whatever it took to get my hair cut. And so, no, I think you're so right. And kind of based on what you're telling me too, it almost seems like hearing the way your father was trying to create his own tools to improve his craft, and he was always practicing his skill. It almost seems like two people lean so much on the fact that technology has come so far. The tools are so much more accessible. They're like, well, it's okay if I don't have the skill because I can just get the tool.
Well, let's face it, everybody has an iPhone now, so we're all the photographer.
Yeah,
right?
That's a fact.
And so I do feel like, you know, how do we trust? Where is that trust in somebody who's really great at their craft and someone who is just maybe mediocre or average? And, you know, so going into the classroom, getting into education, which has been a part of my branding and part of who I am, it's absolutely means everything to me because I want to elevate this career and this path, and I want people to realize that it's a wonderful place to be in.
It's beautiful.
We're not just all beauty school dropouts, as some people. Maybe you saw that when you watched whatever that movie was, Grease. You know, they talked about the beauty school dropout. We had a bad reputation for a long time. Listen, my father used to tell people he was a consultant and lie that he wasn't in the beauty industry. When we would go on these wonderful trips or we would do these great things together as a family, people would say, "Oh, are you a doctor?" And he'd say, "No, I'm just a consultant." And it was almost like he was embarrassed to say that, you know, he was putting rollers in hair and he was, you know, doing these things
Even
back
though
in
it offered
the day.
his family a great lifestyle.
Oh, and we had the greatest life, you know, because of it. And so now I'm just, I guess I sort of cheerlead how proud I am of our industry, how far we've come, the things that we've been able to do, and how we're respected.
You know, and I think that that's something beautiful too that you've taken. I know you're a second generation and you've kind of grown what your father has built, but you've also grown a lot of your own through that as well. And I was looking at like the curricula you're building for the French cutting, the balayage, and I think something that you're trying to do as well is help people build those skills and talents so that they can do more with less as well.
Right.
So it's like, yes, it's cool if you have hobbies. It's like, granted, you can live your life, but you still need to make this your passion if you want to do it.
And by the way, being more efficient, working smarter, not harder, you know, doing what you love. You know, I get to get up every day and do what I love.
I can tell it radiates from you too.
No.
And when I saw it, I'm like, she's in love with what she does.
Yeah, no, it's so true. I mean, my husband was a very high-powered attorney in Atlanta. We've been married for 37 years, and one day he rolled over in bed and he said, "I am so tired of you getting up being so dang happy with your job," you know, and you know, because I go to work every day and get in a courtroom and listen to people scream at each other, you know, and so now he works within my company, and I actually have a third generation. My son is in the business, my daughter-in-law is in the business, and I hope that my grandchildren will be one day too.
And that's something that, because you hear about a lot of people where generations and trades like die out like that because parents don't cultivate that level of love and passion of what they do, where it's like you're on the exact opposite hand, where it's like everyone in your family, even your husband, who was fine doing what he was doing, was super successful, had chosen that path, and was like, I just haven't met anyone who's as in love and as passionate about what they're doing as you. How can I get a piece of that?
And you know what's really funny? He's more passionate about it now than even
stop
I
it.
am. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, he comes up with these incredible vision ideas, and he loves the industry. And by the way, it doesn't hurt to sleep with counsel at night, because when you're running a product line and you have to get all your stuff approved by the FDA, and you've got trademarks, and you're in a whole nother level. So when you start to manufacture something, it's not as easy as it looks. You go from Etsy to like
being in stores
to
having competitors trying to attack you
and forklifts, you know what I mean?
Employees who are moving it, it becomes a lot.
Yeah, so it's great, because when you get up and you do what you love every day, you don't go to work a day. You really do love it. And I've been asked the question, are you going to sell sunlights? Are you ready to do something else, have another venture? And my answer is always pretty standard. And that is when it stops being fun.
Is when I'll stop.
And it's when I'll stop, doing it. So, but right now I'm still having a ton of fun. I'm still traveling with my family. My family is here. I enjoy that. And that's just, a lot of people don't have that kind of thing when
most people don't have that.
No, yeah. So I love that part of it. And by the way, the hair community is my extended family. And you'll learn when you come to these shows that you have your road family. Like, you won't see each other from city to city. You're like a bunch of musicians, bringing in your stuff and your roadies, and you set up, you break down, you go hug your friends, and then you don't see them again until the next whatever. But we're thick as thieves.
I've noticed that, and even I was only here once last year, haven't seen anyone for a year, and I come here and I feel like I've been welcomed with hugs by anyone I even interacted with. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you." They remember my name, everything about me, and I'm like, are you trying to make me cry right now?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of love.
And it's real.
It is.
It's authentic and it's real. I mean, that's the one thing, when we get out from behind the phone and we get out from behind the FOMO and the facade and who is who and what is what. I just sat in the press conference. You were there recently, right here with ABS show.
Yep.
And it's real. The tears are real. The camaraderie is real. The hugs are real. You're really proud of people. That's the one thing I love about the beauty industry, is we celebrate each other.
You do.
We really celebrate your successes. It's not, sure, we're competitive. Sure, that kind of breeds in any industry, right?
Competition is
you
healthy.
Want to, because that's what makes you better, right? You want to be a better version of yourself. But each and every one of us, it's real. If somebody gets an award or gets nominated or wins or beats you or whatever, you really do feel that your family supports you.
Something I really want to ask you, Candy, because you're in such a unique place and position. How do you cultivate that passion and love for what you do, even on the challenging days, or like the days where you're struggling? Don't get me wrong, I know you love to do what you do every single day, but all of us run into challenges.
Oh,
How do you fight through it? Like, how do you keep the main thing the main thing?
Well, a couple of things that I don't negotiate, and that is sleep. And I know that might just sound very, not a big deal. Okay, sleep, but if you travel like a road warrior that I am at shows I'm gone, 2 to 3 weekends a month. I work at the chair still a couple days a month. I work on my business as well, in my business as well. I sit on boards. I'm very busy, but I love, being a part of the community, and I don't want to give that up. But let me just say, big trees fall hard too. I wake up, completely out of gas, completely uninspired. What is going to happen next, not knowing what's lurking around the corner. And when I travel and do that, I always know that I just have to get quiet. Silence is a really beautiful thing. And we don't do enough of it sometimes. We just get busy being busy. I have a lot of sayings, and one of them is, sometimes I have too many tabs open. It's just like my brain is like tab. And
you have a million thoughts, projects running.
Exactly, and who's following through with all that, and who's policing all that? Sometimes I just have to say to myself, Candy, you got to close some tabs down. You got to refocus. You got to get back to basics. You got to get back to your fundamental reasons of why you started this company or why you took over this company of your father's or your legacy. And I really kind of go back to the heart and the soul and the nucleus of why I started. You're going to fall, there is no doubt about it. I say a lot that entrepreneurialism should be called entrepreneurism, because you have to wallow in a lot of stuff.
You do.
And you just have to know how to separate the treasure from the trash, and you just have to know how to give yourself grace and give yourself permission to go down when you need to go down.
See, I think that's something that probably everyone struggles with more now than ever too, because the beauty of like your father had, right, is he didn't have so much stimulus hitting him all the time. So it's like the noise, the constant, to your point, the tabs, the messages, the DMs, he could really dial in on his passion. And it's like that was all the dopamine he needed. But now we have so much stimulus, it's like you try to shut down for 10 minutes and you're like, well, I probably have an email that I missed, or I probably have this DM I need to respond to, or like something's happening with my employee here. When to your point, there's still the same amount of beauty in just the silence. And shutting it down.
Silence is it can be a killer, and it can also be a really wonderful thing to put into your arsenal. And again, the permission to say no, which is a powerful word that is sometimes underused, if I can be honest, because people are trying to get somewhere. Sometimes I ask people, like friends of mine that are overcommitted and overdoing, and they're stressed out, and where am I going to do? Oh my gosh! And I say, what are you chasing? Because really, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And success doesn't come in a form of a rocket ship. It's not. It comes and goes like ebbs and flows. So solely what you have to focus on is just your happiness, your relationships that you surround yourself with, not feeling, what do they say, comparison is the thief of joy.
I've been saying that so much lately too. You're so right.
Don't take away your own joy. And be your own CEO. Whether you're running a company or not, it does not matter. Protect your company, which is you, your brand, your health, your well-being.
Because without that, you don't have a company anyway. It all falls apart.
Or any ideas, I assure you. Yeah.
Wow. Actually, I hope I didn't ruin it already by asking you so many questions, but I want to ask you, I know you told me this was going to be about the power of no, but can you tell me, Candy, about a time you had a conversation that really counted? Maybe you impacted someone, maybe they impacted you.
Well, it's a really powerful question, because I think everyone has a conversation that they have loved that has enlightened them. And the good news about the beauty industry is I have broken bread with so many incredible people. So I could go on for hours about the illustrious, incredible conversations that I've had with those that might have been small, little turning points in my career. But I think the biggest moment that was very marginal in my just learning curve, if you will, was the time that I thought I was going to go into a partnership with someone.
Really?
And I was building my brand, and I woke up with a sick feeling in my stomach, you know, heart, irregular palpitations, and I really knew in my heart of all heart I was making the wrong decision. But I was too far down the road at that moment to have the guts to like stand up and change all the course of what I had just built.
Yeah.
And I sat on it silent for quite a while. And then I finally got the nerve to say no. And I always say to everyone, you know, no doesn't mean never. No just means not right now.
Yeah.
No can even mean maybe.
It can, that's
right?
true.
All right.
I'm a no now, I might be a yes later in the right circumstance.
But the power of no can change your life. And it is the single two letters in our English language that teach us how to stop and how to start. It teaches us how to twist and how to turn. It teaches us how to just accept or not accept.
Yeah.
And that's the line that we draw in our lives that is important. And when we're too afraid to cross over and just be strong and stand up and be confident in our convictions, we can end up doing a lot of things that we don't really want to do in our heart of all hearts. And that moment or that conversation that I had with that person in that moment was the pivotal turn when I got the courage to really stand up and go on my own. And it's been the best decision I ever made. Yeah.
Wow. That was overwhelming, just because it was amazing.
Thank you.
I actually had a similar situation too, where I was going to start, when I was going to do the podcast, I was going to start with a good friend of mine who I'd gone to high school with, known him for, I think, 2 decades now. And I was talking to my mentor and I was like, hey, I'm on the fence. Should I do it with a co-host or should I just do it myself? And he was like, co-hosts are never a good idea. It never works out because if one of you are busy or something's going on, the whole show falls apart. And you also have to ask yourself, is this something you really want to do or is this just another hobby for you? And
interesting.
I know, it comes full circle. And I sat down, to your point, I actually I asked my sister, I asked my brothers, I asked my grandma, I asked everyone I knew their opinion. And to your point, it was because the only reason I even wanted a partner is because I was scared to do it on my own.
Yeah.
And I said, can I even handle this pursuit by myself? And after I sat down, I said, well, if not now, then when? And do I really want to leave my future in someone else's hands?
That's right.
When I could already tell, and I love him to death. I actually told him this exact same thing, but I could tell he felt like this was more of a hobby. And it was like a cool thing that friends could do together for fun. It's like, I didn't just want a hobby. I wanted something more that I could be proud of. And
absolutely. So a body of work.
A body of work that I could reflect on and say, I did that, I enjoyed it, and I gave it everything I had.
Right.
And
I love it. Look at you now, right?
God is good.
That's right.
It's all worked out amazingly.
And that is so true. And being proud of that body of work and having the confidence to do it. And look, there's plenty of people that have great partnerships and do great things together, but I think you just have to ask yourself those hard questions. So you asked me, what is the conversation that I had? It was with myself, mostly. And I think a lot of people use others as a leg up because they see weakness in themselves and they think, well, maybe if we do it together, 2 is better than 1. But my father never went into partnership with anyone other than his own family. And I think that really stood the test of time. And you will do really great things being on your own. You don't need anybody else, David. You're doing a great job.
And Candy, thank you. I'm gonna tear up if you're not careful.
Well, no, I love that.
You've just told me so many beautiful things today. I'm overwhelmed in knowledge and wisdom. I guess my other question I have for you, Candy, is I actually talked to someone about this earlier, but I'd love your take on it. You know, I strongly believe there are 4 pillars to life. Mm-hmm. You have health, you have wealth, you have relationships, and you have like fulfillment. So like that personal self-time that you give to you. How do you balance all of those and hold it together so that you can remain passionate? And I know you said sleep is huge.
Yes, of course.
But how do you balance all 4?
Well, it's simple. So you surround yourself with people who are smarter than you to handle the things that you're maybe not good at.
Okay.
Because when you are a face of a brand, or when you are the heartbeat of a brand, or whether it's a podcast or whether it's a product company,
sure,
you sort of have to protect your visionary spirit. And you just can't be all things to all people. And you have to, again, surround yourself with people who can make great decisions. And you have to use, as my daddy would say, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. 100%. And you need to use them in direct proportion, meaning twice as much listening as speaking. Yeah. And so there's a lot of times that I do a lot of listening. You know, I do a lot of listening, and that helps me stay inspired.
I love that.
You know, and I try to listen with intent to learn. You know, every room is always filled with a great story and somebody who's got a great idea. Mm-hmm. And I also try extremely hard to not reinvent a wheel. You know, I'm okay. If you've already mapped out that plan, I mean, ideas are only other people just reworking them and removing them, right? I mean, it's like a Ouija board. You know, it's just a little Ouija board that we just all continue to take the same types of ideas and turn them into...
Just rework them, make them our own every time.
And if you know, people will ask me all the time, you have 3 companies, how do you stay inspired? How do you continue to focus on them? And I would say, I put the energy in the place that I know that I need to win in the moment.
For
you
sure.
know? You can't put the same amount of energy into everything at all times. Okay. So right now I'm focused really solely on my salon business and my salon growing, because we just had a massive renovation. But next month it may be putting all my weight and love behind Sunlights, and then after that it'll be teaching. And you know, so I try to recognize when to push the gas and when to pump the brakes.
Okay. You're really good at prioritizing. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Some days. And then I'm married well. That helps.
Yeah, and he helps you keep it together too, because who knows you better than your other?
Yes, I mean, there is absolutely. I have a role reversal in a way, you know, where my husband was always helping with raising our 3 children and going to the games and cooking the meals and helping that way so that I could continue to follow my passion and my dreams. So, you know, that was a really smart decision. And quite frankly, I think it's the smartest decision you can make in your life is your partner.
I've heard a lot of that. It's like your partner will decide your future.
Absolutely. Or your past, which might not be very pretty.
That's so true.
I'm going to sort of lay that one down on the table. I don't know.
That was a mic drop. No, Candy, I've taken so much from this. I want to try to recap in the most succinct way what we talked about. Okay. And you tell me if I'm missing anything. All right. And I can do better. So a lot of what we talked about is, I don't even think it's just in the beauty industry. Mm-hmm. I think it's in every industry. Mm-hmm. We have an overabundance of labor and a shortage of talent, of true passion, and people who are willing to be dedicated to their craft. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that you are pioneering and really trying to push is helping people fall back in love with their passion, and reminding them that if they really give something their all, in your case, beauty, whether it be hairdressing, whether it be products, whatever it is, give it your all. You can be the best at it. You can make a great life and a great living for you and your family if you truly strive to do it, just like your father Jamison did. Yeah, it's so true. And I remember one time reading an article in the New York Times about a taxi driver that was making $200,000 a year, and this is 15 years ago. That's wild. Okay. And that's where it's like probably worth double. It's because he had the passion. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could do anything. It doesn't, nothing, just having I have a son that's a doctor, but just having a degree or a law degree, it doesn't necessarily, you have to have passion for it. You have to want to take care of people, or you have to want to practice law, or you have to want to cut hair, or you have to want to do a podcast. And if you really put your weight behind it and you fall in love with it, you'll never go to work. You'll always, you know, the flower will bloom and the bees will appear and the money will just start dropping on you without having to think about it. You know, because if you're chasing just the dollar, you're chasing the wrong thing. The dollar comes when you chase what you're great at and what you enjoy. What you enjoy and what you love and what makes you, which fuels you, you know. And if you continue to do that, you know, great things are always in your future. Love that. And I think something else you mentioned that is very underrated, two things. One, the power of no. Oftentimes we overcommit ourselves and we say yes to too many things. To your point, we say yes to too many hobbies that we think are important and they're really not. We need to prioritize on what matters in this moment. And I think something else that was really the mic drop moment that I still think needs to be repeated. Be careful who you choose in your partnerships, whether it be in your business or in your life. Because to your point, they're going to decide your past, they're going to decide your future. Absolutely. If we're not careful. And I'll leave you with this. You always want to spend major time with major people and minor time with minor people. And that's part of the relationship building. If someone is a serotonin sucker in your life and they're taking that out of your soul, you need to get away from that. You need to disconnect from certain relationships and places and friends that aren't pushing you to your best purpose and helping you become and be the best version of yourself. You know, I want to be able to walk down these halls at ABS and know that I don't have to be in the room to protect myself, because how I carry and live a life full of trust and love and gratitude, I know when someone talks my name, they're speaking good things, because kindness is two ways. And if you give it out, it'll come back to you. I love that, Candy. And last thing I always leave everyone with when we end the episode, and you can help me with this as well if you think I could do better, I always leave everyone with a challenge. Okay. Something they can go out there and do, right? So the challenge I'm getting that I think would make the most sense based on what me and you talked about, I'd probably say ask yourself this week, what is your true passion? What is something you believe in wholeheartedly? And figure out how much time are you committing to that passion every day or every week. And what I'd say, set aside, if it's a passion of yours, maybe even 10 hours a week, just focus on perfecting that passion. Give yourself 10 hours next week to perfect your passion where you're only committed to studying that. And let us know how it goes. Reach out to either myself or Candy and let us know the good news. Speaking of which, how do you think of that challenge? Is that okay? I think that challenge is great. Okay. Because when you think of screen time that you spend on your phone, sometimes it's disgusting. I look at it because my phone will tell me and I'm like, what have I done? I know I haven't got enough done. So don't tell me you can't commit 10 hours out of a very long week to just give it back to you. Yeah, I love that. Love it. All right. And now, how can we connect with you, Candy, and see more of you, learn more from you? Where should we go? Well, I live in Atlanta, Georgia. My Instagram is at the Balay Lama, because I teach the Balay Lama, but also I have an academy in Atlanta, and that's, Facebook, it's Candy Shaw, and, on the show floor in a classroom. On YouTube, I mean, is there anything else? Actually, it's funny, I just turned 61, so I'm sort of in this place now where I'm like, oh no, don't bring me another platform. I just figured out how to work this one. Now, it goes from, Snapchat to, Facebook, Snapchat. There's so much. TikTok, and I'm just like, okay, no, I can't. Now I just went to a conference last week and trying to learn all about AI. Oh, and that's a new thing. Oh, that's going to be my challenge, just committing my 10 hours to learning that. It's worth it too. We use AI in a lot of what we do, from creating our clips to
helping do our research, studying, figuring out everything.
Riverside. I'm already looking at all these little apps that kind of do the editing and take all those things. It's great, isn't it?
CapCut's really good too,
yes,
so we use that. That's great.
Yeah.
So I digress, but AI definitely something good. I'm trying to learn more about it too.
Right.
So
well, that's my challenge to you.
I got you. I'm actually in a course right now where it's marketing with AI. So I
love it.
I'm with you. I'm in the game.
I know. Well, I can't take one more, so this is it for me, okay? I just want you to know.
So this is the last one.
I am drawing the line here. I do not want another digital platform ever anymore. I'm just too old to try to figure all this out and remember all this and do all this.
No, I think you're going to do fine. I think you got it.
Well,
I think AI needs to be ready for you,
as
far as I'm concerned.
Well, thanks. Out of your mouth to God's ears.
I love it. All right. Now, we'll wrap up, but I love this. Candy, you are amazing.
Thank you.
I hope everyone else knows Candy is amazing too. You need to check her out.
You.
All of your links to make it easier are going to be in the description.
Well,
so everyone will be able to find their way to you.
Thank you.
With that being said, everyone complete the challenge. Don't be soft. Don't give up. Let's go out there. Let's win. Let's have some fun. And let's have a blessed week.
That's great.
Thank you all.
Thank you, David. This was a pleasure.
Candy, this was a pleasure for me. Is it okay if I give you a hug? I enjoyed this so much.
Are you kidding? Heart to heart.
This was amazing.
That's it.
Wow.
Yes, it's okay.
It's fine. It made it more lively. It made it more real. Thank you, everyone, for watching another episode of Conversations That Count. Sometimes what we find is YouTube will unsubscribe us from our favorite channels, as well as when we finish an episode, we'll have enjoyed it so much, we'll forget to hit the subscribe button because we'll be so caught up with it. My ask is so that we can keep the channel free, so that I can continue bringing you amazing guests, continue bringing you amazing practices that improve all of our skills as we go into every day and every week. If you can hit that subscribe button, if you can like, share, it goes a very long way to, again, keeping the channel free, allowing us to continue providing you amazing content. And my promise is I will only continue to improve the content, improve the guests, and improve the best practices every single time. I will make sure every week and every month that it only gets better for you. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.